United States is about United States is about to massively escalate the war in Iran. The Department of Defense is urging Americans to go to war on behalf of the United States by using scripture. Today, there has been a full-throttled push online from multiple Department of Defense accounts, including Sean Parnell, which was retweeted by the Department of War. They're using scripture to say, "Send me." Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here I am. Send me." Isaiah 6:8. These tweets, these promotional efforts, are a part of the Pentagon's newly kind of redesigned divine mentality when it comes to war. They believe, or they're at least publicly saying, that God and a divine presence would want America's sons and daughters to go and be sent to conflict overseas to fight on behalf of the United States of America. Be aware this is happening. As always, spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'll have another update for you soon. The United States is about to massively escalate the war in Iran. The Department of Defense is urging Americans to go to war on behalf of the United States by using scripture. Today, there has been a full-throttled push online from multiple Department of Defense accounts, including Sean Parnell, which was retweeted by the Department of War. They're using scripture to say, "Send me." Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here I am. Send me." Isaiah 6:8. These tweets, these promotional efforts, are a part of the Pentagon's newly kind of redesigned divine mentality when it comes to war. They believe, or they're at least publicly saying, that God and a divine presence would want America's sons and daughters to go and be sent to conflict overseas to fight on behalf of the United States of America. Be aware this is happening. As always, spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'll have another update for you soon.
All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kwadash, the Bohan of the Elder, and the apostles of the Timison, who do well. A peace, a blessing, and salutation to you, Akim, who are pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven, being at the forefront of the spiritual war, to make sure Jerusalem is established as a praise here on earth again, as in the days of old. So this is the book of Joel 3. We started verse 1. It read, "For behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat. I will plead with them there for my people, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and departed my land." You see? So this is another lesson coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. And a lot have been going on concerning the conflict between Iran and America, slash the state of Israel, and the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. These two conflicts are part and parcel. Right now, there was a strike from Ukraine to Iraq. There was a strike from Ukraine to an Iranian vessel which was transiting to Moscow. Iran, they said they're gonna respond to Ukraine, and the response will be very terrible, man. And America, she was planning an air campaign over Iran to hit oil installation throughout Iran, man. That was a joint venture between America and Israel. And what did Iran do? They preemptively bombed the American base, and America have to call off that air campaign. And there is a war going on between Yemen and Saudi Arabia now, man. The oil installation in Saudi Arabia are up in flame, but you don't see any news because the monarch over there in Saudi Arabia, and Lord willing, I will do a lesson on them later. the monarch over there in Saudi Arabia, they control everything, man. That's why you don't see no news, but that religion over there is up in flame, man. And there was a news where there was a coalition of the willing, where like a cup of nation, they wanted to come together to open the shipping lane on the Red Sea, because the Red Sea right now is closed, man. Basically, the Red Sea and the Al-Mandab Strait, and there was a strike on the Suez Canal because right now the state of Hormuz is not working. Saudi Arabia, they were using the Suez Canal to ship oil. So their container got bombed over there sitting on the Suez Canal. And people are saying it could be a false flag from the small heart. That's a speculation, man. But this is getting hot, man. You see? And America, you see, they are not operating the main base in Germany because they have a very huge base in Germany. That is non-operation. So that's Joel 3 and 2. All of these armies, all of these bases throughout the world, American bases throughout the world, they will be relocated to the Middle East because that's what the prophecy is saying, man. And right now, Esau Edom is in a mindset of an eschatological war, the war in which Esau and wage will come from an eschatological point of view. That's why this war will be different from all wars throughout history. That's why it is called the war of Armageddon for a reason, man. It will be very terrible, man, for you nations, man. And Esau is lying to you like he always do because he is a deceiver. So this is a book of 2 Corinthians 6 and 8 by Hannah and Dishannah, by evil report. See? By evil report and good report, as a deceiver and yet true. See? So Esau is deceiving everybody, man, that this is a call from the Most High Hashem Yashai to wage war on this barbaric, because that's what Esau calls them Arab over there. That is their barbaric, and they need to be wiped off the map, man. You see, and as those who remain, they need to be enslaved. That's where you get the new world order from, man. You see, enslavement of mankind, man, on the behest of the Most High Hashem Yashai, man. You see, so Esau is like a messenger. He's, at least that's what he's posing himself, a messenger from on high, man. You see, having the mandate to reconstitute the world, man. You see, and put a new system where everybody will be chipped. But that's a false report. You see, that's not true. You see, that's not true, man. You see, that's not true. Let me get the book of Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitant of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great lust. And the devil is a deceiver, man. See? He is a deceiver because he knows that he has but a short time. You see? That's why he is going to the four corners of the earth deceiving, man. The same book, let me get the same book. I think it is 20. I see. Let me see. This is Revelation 27. And when the 1,000 years expired, Satan, you see, the adversary, shall be loosened out of his prison. That's Esau, man. Going back to the Renaissance period, and he shall go out to deceive the nation which are in the four quarters of the earth. So after the Renaissance period, Esau went to the four corners of the earth, deceiving the people. It includes also the iconoclasm, man, where he painted his face on everything which is whole, man. It's in a Gog and Magog together them together to battle. That's what he's doing. That's why you are seeing he's posting, he using scripture to lull the people to fight in this coming battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And as they went up on the beasts of the earth and compassed the camp of the saint about and the beloved city, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. So verse 9 it goes into see on the climax of when you see will be going at its climax and persecution will be going on. So these things will happen simultaneous. He encompasses the camps of the saint. The camps of the saint, it simply means the true believer in these last days, man. You see? So when everything will be going on, it is a believers will be persecuted, man. You see? So it is this, man. I say shalom. I hope you are edified on the next.